Alright, so welcome back to another video on how to become a business consultant freelancer, right? So, because I'm looking at the section 4 and how to conduct a proper research and gather quality data as a freelance consultant. So, first is looking at how to conduct a research and gather quality data because data is incredibly powerful to reinforce, persuade, or inform others, right? So it can inform, persuade, and reinforce your point of view, but also can be misleading. So it's important, especially when you're conducting a consulting project, making a research, you're conducting a research for a consulting project, to look up for a couple source of data and to pondering which are the most valuable to least valuable. So the first party data or data that come from the company are usually the most valuable. They are sometimes behind to NDN, non-disclosure agreement. So you have to sign that because it's data that is confidential. And once you can get that data, you can look back as far as data as they you can look far as back as data that they have. So you can see what they are doing in the past and see how you can use that to help you influence and to make your consultation or your suggestion. So it is important to take note on this first party data, and then you have the second party data, which are data that come from trust sources. Uh, this is not from anonymous sources. They have a proven record of research report, peer review. You might or not have to pay for that, and it's also important to make a set of note on this type of data. And then you have is the aggregate source, the third party data. These usually are the least valuable because you cannot guarantee the quality of the data, especially from its author who made that data. So why am I mentioning this? Because sometimes you're not able to access the first party data. There are few or inexistent second party data or these trust sources. So you ultimately have to look for these aggregate sources, right? To try to kind of guide you where are you going to provide your suggestions. And then once you know how to gather data by identifying their sources, well, when you're going to conduct a research, play devil advocate to yourself because things are not black and white. Gather as much relevant information about it, take notes, and keep record of every source you obtain. Then you check the quality of those sources by uh, checking who the author really is, where this data come from. If you're getting that data from a particular website, look for uh, grammar, or if there's something, or if you look at their website and something feels off, uh, something feels fishy as well. And don't forget to go back to the client and ask for that further data, right? Now, all that because the whole idea is to understand how to conduct a research and gather quality data. I look at case of study, especially from the marketing aspect, where they looking for a tourist website, right? And how are the things that, from the marketing perspective, Paul Mendes, this zero to mastery instructor, and this Google AdSense guru do for that, right? And that is, look at their website, understand what they offer, all the product and service, then look up for the specifics by looking at the category, the pricing, about the company's review, what makes this company unique, because this is going to help you in your consulting suggestions. Sorry. And then, uh, if you're able to access to the first party data, do that. So you can look what they have done in the past, how they have been performing, and how you can provide your suggestions based on that data. So after you compile your research with their website, the data from their website, all the products and service, how much they charge, in what they offer, now move to a secondary set of data. This is especially to these trust sources. And the idea here is to look who the other players in that industry are in that area, what they're doing, see what you can learn from them, and take keywords from that. Because with that, you can view that a comparator analysis where this is by using is a keyword planner to do that, to get you a more clear idea of how that industry is going. Okay, so you can have you can have a yeah, is this. So you can give you so this keyword research with keyword plan based on the competitor analysis. Okay, and this is when you move to this secondary set of data. So looking at that data from the keyword plan to give you a clear idea of what's going on in that industry. And then on top of that, understanding what's going on from a broad perspective to see not only what happened in that industry but also in the world, and see how you can apply everything that you have researched to what is most likely to work today. And that includes look at the industry, look at how that industry is adapting to regulation and where this industry is going. And so I can do that. I can do that research here. Okay. Um, in fact, let me do that here. Okay. Let me do this research. Okay. So for example, now this will be called as the case study of their website, right? But as a note, you can say case study, case study, well, case study, uh case study conducting research, case study with view, right? Another case study in your tool is like uh, software development, okay, where this is industry going. Another case of study maybe is Node, the server, the the UI front end. Okay, this is front end. backend, all right, uh, case study, as database, where this industry is going as well, in the context of database, software development, right, and case study with Docker as well, where is this industry going. And you can take a closer look at something called Thought Thought ThoughtWorks website, where they have that. So you look at the inside in terms of the technology radar here. That's right. So you have techniques, tools, platforms, and language. So Backstage and Delta Lake for the platform, Colima, AWS Database Migration Service, Databricks Photo, Data Hub, Data Ops, DB, Fees, Monte Carlo, Seldon Core, Teleform, Metrics, BERT, Component Visual Regression Testing, Design Tokens, Fake Test Mail Sending, Federated Machine Learning, Observability for CI and CD pipelines, SLSI, Software Build Material, Team Cognitive Load, and Threat Modeling, Path to Production. So Team Cognitive Load is a key concept when redesigning an organization for business agility and speed. This integration will be reflecting the software being built, see Kalman's law, to indicate how effectively team can autonomously deliver value to their customer, or advises to be intentional about how teams are designed and how they interact, because we believe that organizational design and team interactions evolve over time. We think it is particularly important to measure and keep track of the team cognitive load, which includes how easy or difficult teams find building, testing, and maintain their service. We have been using a template to assess team cognitive load that is based on ideas by the author of the team topology book. Team topology book. Okay. We continue to be impressed by the positive impact of applying this book concept when communicating to clients and redesigning organizations. The author recommends a simple, powerful approach to organize organizational design. Identify just four types of team and three modes of interact. This helps reduce ambiguity with the organization and provides a common vocabulary for teams, stakeholders, and leadership. To describe and design a team works to implement an org design change. We design the ideal to be team topology structure, apply and techniques staffing, not enough employee, and then end up with a final to be structure that allows to better advise clients and anticipate whether we are indeed improving cognitive load by comparing the as is to be the team structure. It's a lot of jargon. Team topology by Matthew Scale and Matthew Lee. Mm, recommended for CIOs, enterprise architects, and digital product strategies. Okay. And then you have tools, great expectations, key six. They become the go-to tool for performance testing. Key six. Kubernetes. Okay. The best developer experience for load testing. Mm, for load testing. For load testing. Okay. And great expectations. We are querying Next.js, Swift Package Manager, Code Test, and IoTS. And Next.js has become another standard, okay. GS, okay. Delta Lake, Backstage. Mm, it didn't spell, it's on there. IoTs. But this is for Internet of Things, right? In Nest. Using calculator easy to maintain application in enterprise. In enterprise, Nest.js is a TypeScript-first framework that makes the development of Node.js applications safer and less error-prone. Nest.js is opinionated and comes with solid principles and an Angular-inspired architecture out of the box. Conflict-free replicated data type. Mm. Runtime type system for I/O decoding and encoding. Okay. Your name. Offline support and peer-to-peer. Rose will know. Mm. It's a shared editing framework. It explores shared type that can be manipulated like any other type. Automatic syncing. Mm. Ah. Mm. Shit. Try this. Yes. The hell? What? What the hell? What? And then, okay, it's not that efficient. Okay, okay. Mm, okay, interesting. It's a CRDT implementation that exposes its internal data structure and shared types. Shared types encompass with data types like map or array with superpowers. Chains are automatically distributed to other peers and merge without merge conflict. G, GS is network agnostic P2P, supporting many existing rich text editor, offline editing, version snapshot on the reader, share cursors. And Delta Lake. A seed transition to big data processing. Okay, okay. Making this research, by the way, conflict-free replicated data type algorithm are proven to be able to automatically distribute and merge change among peers without conflict. But in practice, even the small enough data, this algorithm usually requires significant amount of memory to trace all of the changes made by different peers, thus making them impractical. GF is carefully optimized conflict-free replicated data type. Conflict-free replicated data type implementation that keeps memory consumption at a reasonable level for large data set and millions of modifications. It also provides binding for popular text editor, which greatly reduces the cost of building collaborative tools. Okay. We're gonna take a look at this code test. Is code clean? Yeah. Nest a no overload for October 20, not in the current edition. Technology, specifically widely popular ones, have a tendency to be overused. We're seeing at the moment is node overload, a tendency to use node GS indiscriminately or for the wrong reasons. Among these, two stand out in our opinion. First, we frankly hear that Node.js should be used so that all programming can be done in one programming language. No, our view remains that polyglot programming is a better approach, and this still goes both ways. Yeah, secondly, we often hear teams cite performance as a reason to choose Node.js. Although there are a myriad of more or less sensitive benchmarks, this perception is rooted in history. When Node.js became popular, it was the first major framework to embrace a non-blocking programming model, which made it very efficient for I/O-heavy tasks. Exactly, but it makes very efficient input and output heavy tasks. We mentioned this in our write-up of Node.js in 2012. Due to due to the single-thread nature, Node.js was never a good choice for compute-heavy workloads. So, and now that capable non-blocking framework also exists on other platforms. Some with elegant modern API, performance is no longer a reason to choose Node. It's because they are using that indiscriminately for anything. It's required to build backend applications or teams are reporting that Nest is suitable option to enable developers to create testable, scalable, and loosely coupled and easy to maintain applications in enterprise. But with Nest, Nest is a TypeScript first framework that makes the developing of Node.js applications safer and less error prone. With Hello Nest, the open source platform designed for the future. Build Enterprise. Leave preview. See how your application may potentially look without leaving your personal browser. And the following is this particular pattern, a class-based approach. Get render the index and this. That's from the ground up. Can you mislead it? Support us. Next is MIT since open source project. Mm, Response. This is for enterprise. And their daemon. It's a framework for building efficient, scalable, Node.js server-side applications. It uses progressive JavaScript built with a fully typed support of TypeScript, yet still enables developers to code in pure JavaScript and combines elements of object-oriented programming, and functional reactive programming. Okay. Under the hood, Nets make use of robust HTTP server frameworks like Express, an option that can be configured to use Fastify as well. Nets provide a level of abstraction above this common Node.js framework, Express or Fastify, but also expose their APIs directly to the developers. This gives developers the freedom to use a myriad of third-party models which are available to the underlying platform. In recent years, thanks to Node, JavaScript has become the lingua franca of the web for both front-end and back-end applications. This has given rise to awesome projects like Angular, React, and Vue. Totally, which improve developer productivity and enable the creation of fast, testable, and extensible front-end applications. However, while plenty of superb libraries, helpers, and tools exist for Node and server-side JavaScript, none of them effectively solve the main problem, the architecture. Next, provide an out-of-the-box application architecture which allows developers and teams to create highly testable, scalable, loosely coupled, and easily maintainable applications. The architecture is heavily inspired by Angular. Mhm. You have the first step, the controllers here, the providers, the models, middleware, section filters, pipes, and interceptors. Okay, and custom decorator. Mhm. So the fundamentals, exactly, is heavily okay. It's heavily focused on that. It's loading model. Yeah, it's heavily focused on Angular, platform agnostic. Techniques, security, GraphQL. It also allows you to use GraphQL. Mhm. Interesting. Interesting. GraphQL models for that. Mhm. So you can query your data for that. WebSockets, and the microservice, with Redis, MQTT, NATS, RabbitMQ, mm, gRCP, SQL filters, pipes, guards, and interceptors. Standalone APIs, these are very fully. Okay, it's a full, it's a very open friendly. Okay, makes sense. Interesting. Interesting this approach of this. The other is IoT. To handle this runtime type system for import and output decoding and encoding. And when they talk about this, invaluable. Especially when interacting with APIs that ultimately result in the creation of objects with specific types. When working with TypeScript, getting data into the bounds of the type system from the aforementioned APIs can lead to runtime errors that can be hard to find and debug. IoT has bridged the gap between compile time, type checking, and runtime consumption of external data by providing encode and decode function, giving the experience of our teams and the elegance of his approach. We think IoT is worth adopting. Mm. But again, what I did is just on the this case of study, it was from the software development. Okay, this case, the case study of software development, because here there is a myriad of that. Value stream mapping, process mapping. Uh-huh. From Martin Fowler. Okay, Nest, IoT, and GSCS. Share data type for building collaborative software. Well, Salesforce. Mm, interesting. Interesting. But it seems that this is the three structure. Delta Lake. The compute engine including Spark, President, ingestion tables, refined tables. This is a data lake. Mm, for engineering too. Graph from graph mm, an extensive load testing tool used for developer habits. From graph like unit testing for performance. Mm, from DevOps. Okay. Mhm. Mm, okay. Load testing tool using Go and JavaScript. Okay. Again, just only focus to one thing at a time, and that is with Vue, because the software development is a huge universe itself. So this is pretty interesting. This is pretty interesting to work with or to look at it. You know, it's like okay. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. With that, that'll be all for this video. So take care. Bye bye.